If you want to unmute yourself, just mention it as well. That's fine.
All right, welcome everybody to our Stitchcraft marketing office hours. I am Leanne Presley, and today I'm going to be talking about how to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. And I think this is one of the more common issues that we have with clients. So hopefully it'll be helpful for you to understand kind of the fundamentals, and I'll give you a couple of examples. So basically, we know that the marketplace is super crowded, and you have to be offering something different, something that's differentiated in order to stand out. So we're going to explore how you can learn to communicate who you are and what that particular thing is, so that your customers know you are different from everyone else. And I like to jump in with this example of one of our former clients. This is Pearl Diver Yarns from A Good Yarn, Sarasota. And one of the things that they do that I think is really well is they have something called Pearl Diver Yarns. The owner's husband is actually a scuba diver, and he goes out and takes all these really amazing underwater photographs and then brings it back to the shop, and they hand dye colors according to whatever the corals were or the creatures that he found. And it's been really amazing for them. And that is something super exclusive, something that differentiates them from everyone else, all the shops around them, even online. It's something that only they offer. So I like that example. But you can think about other things for your shop, like, is your product particularly eco-friendly? Is it locally sourced or hand-dyed? Are you doing a specific type of yarn? For a while, we worked with a client that had silver spun into her yarn, and that was quite different. Are you offering classes with top designers? Is that kind of the thing you're known for? What makes you special? So a couple different areas that you can look at to define your personal brand. You could look at what kind of social posting you're doing, what your voice or your tone is. Like maybe you're the shop that's super whimsical, or maybe you're the quilt store that's known for modern quilting, or you specialize in helping people pick out colors. Maybe you have a specific position in the industry, or you're really knowledgeable about hand embroidery, something like that. Now, I always recommend that you start with why, and this comes from a concept from Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. This was the first in 2 series, and he talks about something called the golden circle. And even though we want to know what you're selling and how you're selling, the more important question in his argument is the why are you selling? And this gets to kind of the center of the circle of why you get up and out of bed every morning and do what you're doing. So to explore this a little bit further, we want to think about, why did you start your business? What are your core values? We get into areas of purpose and your story. Another example that I like to give in explaining your why is, I live here in a small town, and we have a local restaurateur that she actually owns 3 restaurants. And when I was talking to her about her why, what she told me was, it's really obvious that she has a restaurant and she makes sandwiches, and she can talk all day long about what those sandwiches are and how she makes those sandwiches. But the why of her business really gets down to her core belief and values, that she wants to provide a place for her employees to work, because they're kind of outliers. And in her opinion, these employees would not be able to find work really any other place in town. And so the why of her business is providing a sanctuary and providing a community and a sense of belonging for people in the community. And if you think about it, I mean, that has nothing to do with making sandwiches. So your why may be the same. It may have nothing to do with producing yarn or having a quilt shop. So I'd highly recommend you get your hands on that book if you're struggling with how to answer that question. Other areas we can look at are the how and the what. So in your how area, you're going to be thinking about what you do offer people that others don't. You want to look at what your processes are, maybe something special or unique, and how you're creating your product. How are your values represented in what you do? And what problems are you solving? I think that the problem solving piece is something we like to focus on here at the agency. We're always encouraging our clients to think about, how are you the hero or the heroine in your business? How are you solving problems for your unique customer avatar? And then next, you can take a look at your what. What products and services are you offering? What is special or different about what you sell? Remember, like the pearl diver yarns or the silver yarns, or maybe your yarns are recycled, or there's such a plethora of different topics you can talk about and how your product is created. Next, we want to take a look at what your brand story is. How do you share what your why, how, and what is in your brand story? One of the most important places that you can share this information with your customer is your about us or your about me page on your website. You can also put it in your copy on all of your social media channels. So if you find that one special thing, this is where you're going to be talking about it. Your brand's graphics, of course, and your photography, really all of your marketing materials. And we're always harping at the agency about you should be consistent with all of those messages. So again, if going back to my example that you're the modern quilt shop, you want to make sure that's consistent across all the different areas where you're talking to your customer along their customer journey, and really especially in your About Us page. But we always think you need to be consistent across all of the places that you're talking to your customer. So just some tips here to make your brand stand out a little bit more. You want to narrow your target market and think about who exactly are you selling to. And if you've heard any of my presentations, you've probably heard me say this 100 times, if not once, that if you are trying to serve all the people, then you're not serving anybody. And you really need to find a niche in your area that is not being served. So I like to use the example of just our agency when I talk about this concept. There are hundreds of marketing agencies out there, but there are very few, maybe even just one, that specializes in craft companies. And even more, we're specialized in social media and strategy for craft companies. And so any customers that have come to us, any prospective clients, when they do come to us, that is mostly the reason why they want to work with us, because we are so specialized in that niche. So think about that for your business. What is the one thing that you know best more than anybody else in your competitive landscape that you can bring forward as your niche? And we know by narrowing down your market, that can help you specialize and make you stand out from your competitors. All right, focusing on customer service. I think this is often one area that's overlooked. You can be selling similar products as everyone else, but by having stellar customer service experiences for your customer is going to really help you stand out and be a differentiator. So think about what can you do to improve that experience in your specific business. I think you should have a plan for how you respond to negative feedback or questions or complaints, or really any way that you're communicating with your customer, and put that into a system or a process for your business, so that if you're out, for example, and your employees are in charge, or someone comes in to sub for you, everybody knows what your customer service policies are across the board, and it's easy for you to communicate that with your internal staff. Packaging is another way that you can differentiate yourself. You can come up with different ways to ship your products that are delightful for your customers. That might be the one differentiator, or one of many that you have. When I receive my yarn from so-and-so company, it's packaged beautifully in special paper with a handwritten note and a uniquely printed bow with their brand and logo on it. You can come up with different ideas for this, but packaging is just another area where you can create a positive experience. Being innovative is another area that we talk a little bit about. How can you improve upon something within your industry or your area? What do you offer that really no one else has offered? And in this example with Bobo Design Studio, they specialize in travel journals and travel crafting. And she was really super clever in combining both of those to come up with a really unique product that is special just to her shop or her business. And, she's really expanded upon that with these cool little stickers and tutorials and journals and other things that she does. And you can't just kind of go anywhere to buy that product. So she's really innovated there and come up with something special. You can also create some great offers. One place we say to look around in the landscape of what your competitors are doing, making sure that, of course, your prices are comparable, and what can you offer that they're not offering? What can be your exclusive? Going back to a Good Yarn Sarasota, she is within vicinity of many other competitors. I think she has 2 other stores that are within an hour's driving distance. But if you want the Pearl Diver colors, you got to just go to her shop. So that's an exclusive that's only available to her customers. How does your business create value and solve problems for customers? And think about offering special promotions or deals, but we recommend you do that sparingly. I did work with a client here locally for a while that had a yarn shop, and she was very successful. But one mistake that I think she made was having an annual April sale. And because she had that annual April sale, she was training her customers to just kind of wait for that April sale. And yes, it was a differentiator, but didn't always work in her favor. It was the one thing everybody around here locally knew about her shop that really made her different. And, I know she moved a lot of inventory and she probably got a great little revenue bump, but over the long run, I think that that special promotion may have hurt her in the end. So you do think about that, using them sparingly. Showcase your expertise in the field. What is your brand's expertise and how can you share that with others? Like if you are the kind of person that knows how to do visible mending, for example, and you've got classes about that and you bring in special teachers around that subject, and you yourself really are making some incredible pieces with visible mending, that might be your little expertise. That might be something that you're really, really good at that no one else around you can compete with. Other things we point out, try to make it easy for people to do business with you. You want to clear up roadblocks that you have that prevent people from working with you or purchasing your product. This is always something to just maybe take an audit at the year end. How are your systems functioning on your website and on your mobile devices? Have third parties come in and check out your shopping carts and do a customer user experience. You might want to ask some of these questions. Is it easy to find you? Is it easy to purchase from you? Can people contact you with questions? And is it pretty clear what you offer? I think sometimes when you are in the trenches and you're the one that has designed the website and you're on the website every day and you're using it, you don't see the things that other people might see. I just recently did an audit with someone on my team, and one of the pages I noticed we had spelled something or we missed a word, and that website's been up there for years, but it wasn't until we just kind of looked at it from an auditing perspective that we noticed that. So I encourage you to have other people look at your website and your whole customer journey experience to make sure that you are making it easy for people to do business with you. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you want to research competitors. I think that's a great way to identify how you are different. If you're thinking about carrying a certain product, and then you come to find out that the shop an hour away also has the same product, or they're bringing in the same teacher, that's going to make it a lot harder for you to be competitive because you're not different from the shop down the street. You want to look at what they're doing well and where they might need improvement. Whenever we onboard new clients, we always do a competitive analysis, and we take a look at several competitors across all different spectrums. We look at website use, we look at social media channels, all the different ways, so that when we're making recommendations to our client, we already know what we can recommend to them that helps them stand out and be a little bit different. As always, you want to be consistent. You build trust with your customers by being consistent. Nobody wants to work with a business that's fly by night. And so you being consistent and offering the same over time really builds that trust with your consumer. A couple of areas that we focus on specifically: brand messaging in your social media, your customer service, and your product quality. People want to know what to expect from your brand. One of the examples that I like to give with consistency is, we are marketing in a very overstimulated environment. And I like to joke that if you were to look over the shoulder of my 20-year-old when she's using Instagram, you would know how important it is that you have to be consistent with your brand and your messaging, because her brain is looking for patterns. When she's scrolling so fast, she's looking to see, oh, is it the same font, colors, template, and so on that I'm used to from the brands that I love. And that's what tells her brain to stop on that Instagram post and actually look at it. So if you're using different colors, different fonts, different templates, different graphics, and so on for all of your marketing materials, then you don't have that advantage. She's scrolling right by your content. So take a look at all the things across your website and all your social channels. The agency, we always recommend that you do a brand style guide and you have it ready and available for either your posting or anyone internally that's working for you, so that everybody's using the same formatted materials across the board. All right, I think that will help you differentiate as well. So thanks everybody for your time today, and we'll take some questions if folks have them. And yeah, thanks again. I'll stop recording.
Okay, we'll give you a second to think about if you have any questions.